Scene script. Have you ever wondered how the Palestinian expulsion, a significant event in Middle Eastern history, came about? To understand the roots of this conflict, we must journey back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when the land known today as Palestine was under Ottoman rule. This was a time of relative calm, as diverse communities coexisted, each with its unique customs, traditions, and beliefs. However, beneath the surface, tensions were simmering, fueled by national and religious identities. With the fall of the Ottoman Empire after World War I, the British took control of Palestine under a League of Nations mandate. The mandate was intended to prepare Palestine for future independence, but it also contained a controversial clause, the Balfour Declaration. This 1917 declaration, named after Britain's then Foreign Secretary, Arthur Balfour, endorsed the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. The Balfour Declaration had profound implications. It was seen by many Jews as a promise for a homeland, a safe haven after centuries of persecution. But for the Arab majority living in Palestine, it was a betrayal. They saw their land being given away without their consent to a people who at that time made up less than 10% of the population. As more Jewish immigrants arrived in Palestine during the 1920s and 1930s, tensions between the Jewish and Arab communities escalated. Both sides harbored deep-seated fears and suspicions of the other. The Arab majority felt threatened by what they perceived as a plan to dispossess them of their homeland. Meanwhile, the Jewish minority, many of them Holocaust survivors, were desperate for a place of refuge. Acts of violence became increasingly common, as each side sought to assert its claims to the land. The British, unable to quell the unrest, eventually decided to hand the issue over to the United Nations. The stage was set for a conflict that would change the face of the Middle East forever. In 1947, the United Nations proposed a plan that would have far-reaching consequences. This was the UN Partition Plan for Palestine, a blueprint aimed to resolve the long-standing Jewish-Arab conflict in the region. The plan proposed the division of the British Mandate of Palestine into two independent states, one Jewish and one Arab, with Jerusalem under international administration. The Jewish state was to comprise 56% of the land, despite Jews making up about a third of the population and owning less than 7% of the total land. The reaction to the plan was a tale of two communities. The Jewish Agency, representing the Jewish community in Palestine, accepted the plan, although with reservations. They saw it as a stepping stone towards the realization of a long-held dream, a Jewish homeland. On the other hand, the Arab community, comprising the majority of the population and owning the majority of the land, rejected the plan outright. They saw it as an imposition, a violation of their rights to self-determination, and an attempt to legitimize what they viewed as unjust Jewish claims to their land. The international community was divided. While the plan was passed in the UN General Assembly with a two-thirds majority, it was largely due to the support of Western and Latin American countries. Most Asian and Arab countries opposed the plan, seeing it as a form of neo-colonialism. The adoption of the plan sparked widespread violence. The day after its approval, civil war broke out between the Arab and Jewish communities in Palestine. The world watched as the region was engulfed in a bitter struggle, a prelude to the larger Arab-Israeli conflict that was to follow. As the civil war escalated, the fate of the Palestinians hung in the balance. This was the beginning of a tumultuous chapter, one that would forever change the face of the Middle East and leave a lasting impact on the lives of millions. 1948 marked a pivotal year for the Palestinians, a year they referred to as the Nakba, or the catastrophe. This was a time of profound change, a time when the very fabric of Palestinian society was upended. The year was characterized by the Arab-Israeli War, a contentious and divisive conflict that would have far-reaching consequences for the region. This was a war that was not just about territory, but about identity, about history, and about the right to exist in a land that both sides claimed as their own. In the midst of this conflict, countless Palestinians were expelled from their homes. Some were driven out by force, others fled in fear, while others still were compelled to leave by a myriad of factors tied to the war. This mass displacement wasn't an isolated incident, but a widespread phenomenon that affected Palestinians from all walks of life. As the war raged on, the Palestinian landscape was drastically altered. Villages that had once been vibrant and bustling with life were destroyed, their inhabitants forced to seek refuge elsewhere. This wasn't just a physical destruction, but a cultural one as well. Traditions, histories, and ways of life that had been passed down through generations were suddenly uprooted, leaving a void in their wake. This expulsion and destruction led to the creation of a major refugee crisis. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians found themselves without a home, their lives irrevocably changed. They were forced to settle in refugee camps in foreign lands, their futures uncertain. This crisis wasn't just about the physical displacement of people, but about the loss of a sense of belonging, a sense of identity, and a sense of home. In the aftermath of the war, the Palestinian landscape was forever altered, with hundreds of thousands of Palestinians displaced from their homes. This was the Nakba, the catastrophe, a pivotal moment in Palestinian history that continues to shape the discourse and the struggle for a just resolution to this day. The Nakba did not mark the end of the Palestinian struggle, but rather, the beginning. The aftermath of the Nakba has been a story of resilience, suffering, and ongoing struggle. For Palestinians, the reality of displacement did not end in 1948. Instead, it marked the onset of a protracted ordeal, one that would continue to shape the contours of the Middle East. The Israeli occupation, the refugee crisis, and the fight for the right to return are issues at the heart of the Palestinian struggle. The Israeli occupation has been a source of perpetual tension and conflict, with Palestinians living under a regime that restricts their movement, controls their resources, and often undermines their basic human rights. The daily reality of living under occupation has fueled a sense of resentment and resistance among Palestinians, adding another layer to the complexity of their struggle. In the aftermath of the Nakba, a significant number of Palestinians found themselves in refugee camps, in neighboring Arab countries, and beyond. The refugee crisis is not just a humanitarian issue, it is a political one as well. The right to return, recognized under international law, remains a key demand of the Palestinians. However, achieving this right has been a Herculean task, with political roadblocks and logistical challenges standing in the way. The Palestinian expulsion has had a profound impact on the political landscape of the Middle East. It has fueled regional tensions, influenced the policies of neighboring countries, and shaped the discourse on human rights and statehood. The Palestinian struggle is not an isolated issue, it is deeply intertwined with the broader dynamics of Middle Eastern politics. The echoes of the Palestinian expulsion continue to reverberate through the halls of history, shaping the present and future of the region. The struggle of the Palestinians is a testament to their resilience, and a reminder of the complexities of the Middle East conflict. This is not just a story of the past, it is a narrative that continues to unfold, influencing the course of history and the lives of millions. The story of the Palestinian expulsion is a story of complex historical events, political decisions, and human struggle. We've traveled through time, from the genesis of the conflict, where the seeds of discord were sown, to the pivotal moment in 1947 when the United Nations partition plan left a lasting imprint on the region. We delved into the Nakba, or catastrophe, a time of tremendous upheaval and sorrow, where countless Palestinians were expelled from their homes. The echoes of this event are still audible today, reverberating through the generations and continuing to shape the narrative of the Palestinian people. In the aftermath, we saw the struggle continue, with the displaced Palestinians grappling with the harsh realities of their new lives. The loss of their homes, their land, their sense of identity. These are not just historical footnotes, they are the lived experiences of millions of people. Experiences that continue to resonate in the present day. The ongoing relevance of the Palestinian expulsion in today's world cannot be overstated. It's a story that's still unfolding, a narrative that's constantly being rewritten. It's a testament to the enduring impact of historical events on our present and our future. It's a reminder of the human cost of political decisions, of the power dynamics that shape our world. This is a complex issue, one that demands a nuanced understanding. It's not enough to simply know the facts. We must strive to understand the context, the motivations, the ramifications. We must delve deeper, question more, seek a fuller understanding. So I encourage you to continue exploring this topic. Read more, listen more, learn more, understand its complexities, its contradictions, its nuances. For it's only through a deeper understanding that we can hope to navigate the complex terrain of our shared history. The Palestinian expulsion, a significant chapter in the history of the Middle East, continues to shape the region's political landscape, reminding us of the enduring impact of historical events on the present and future.